How's it going, guys? Mask here, and of course the Elegant My event has finally launched. Quick look at her cards. There's Venu, Bright Bird of Divinity, a ritual summon. You can reveal a monster in your hand, target a face-up monster on the field. The target's level becomes equal to the level of the revealed monster in hand that in your hand had until the end of the turn. Once per turn, if another monster is tributed from your hand or field, except during the damage step, you can target one monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Quite a bizarre effect. Can't really put my finger on how to take advantage of it. Swift Birdman Joe, my Valentine herself, is running this card. If you tribute summon this card by tributing a wind monster, return all spell and trap cards on the field to the owner's hand. Annoying, especially against when we're trying to farm. Dance, Princess of the Ice Barrier, and this is going to definitely be a little bit of a buff to those Ice Barrier decks you've been seeing running around. Once per turn, if you control another face-up Ice Barrier monster, you can reveal any number of Ice Barrier monsters in your hand to select an equal number of set spell/trap cards your opponent controls. Return the selected set spell/trap cards your opponent controls to the hand. That's freaking wicked. You just have to reveal any number, and revealing does nothing. Sure, okay, here, I got Ice Barrier monsters in my hand. You're playing against an Ice Barrier deck. Go figure. And then you just get to bounce your opponent's set spell or trap cards back to their hand. And they're either forced to activate them in main phase or let them come back to the hand where they're opening themselves up to that OTK. Amazoness Archers. If the Amazon decks ever take off, this is going to be insane. Activate only when you control an Amazoness monster, of course. But all monsters your opponent control are changed to face-up attack position. They all lose 500 attack, and they must... And as long as they remain up, they lose 500 attack as long as they remain up on the field, and your opponent must attack with all of them. All of them. So it's like a reverse reinforcements. Guess what? You must suicide into me card. That's just so wicked. Queen's Pawn. Activate only when Amazoness monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. Special summon a level 4 or lower Amazoness monster from your deck. I mean, if you're not planning on destroying your opponent's monsters and sending them to the graveyard, you probably aren't winning anyway. So this card is definitely going to have some play. Harpy Lady 2, we're very familiar with. 3, Primal Cry, obviously summons that big ritual monster you're looking at. Amazoness Blowpiper, we've already had in the game. Select a monster your opponent controls. During each of your standby phases, it loses 500 attack until the end of the turn. And Tactical Espionage Expert, I mean 13, 12, it's hard for it to get any play. And you just simply can't chain traps to its activation. Card-wise, I personally want to get my hands on the Ice Barrier card just so I can play that Ice Barrier deck a little bit more. Amazoness Archers and Queen's Pawn I want to get just to future-proof us for more Amazoness cards. Aside from that, I'm not insanely excited about too much else. I mean, Swift Birdman Joe, he could see some play. It's only a 1 tribute, bounces all the spells and traps back, so that's actually pretty alright. Yeah, though, I mean, this Ice Barrier card is pretty much the only one, but at the same time, I wouldn't call the Ice Barrier deck tier 1 anyhow. It's kind of more like tier 2, tier 3 with a little side of fun gimmick to it. It's not going to be the end of the world if you don't get all the cards from this event. Until the next series of cards we get has tons of Amazoness in it. Then you're going to really want, these 2 cards. Anyhow... for farming level 40 Mai, we were up when the patch, we were up and in the Discord and grinding it out for a good 3 or 4 hours after the patch launched, and I was just way too tired and had to crash. Didn't get a chance to record anything. I got a couple shout outs, so I really only have one at the top of my head. Thanks for all of you that showed up. We had a good like 10 to 15, 20 people. It was fun. The actual the deck that I kept wanting to go at, she's got such a wide variety of problems we have to deal with. I'm actually going to pull those up on screen real quick. Let me see here. We'll switch to where we can read what I got. Obviously, we have Harpy Lady, not 3, 2, and 1. We all know what they do. Not much of a threat. Birdface, we're familiar with. Monster Gate. We need card draw to deal with that, obviously. Harpy's Hunting Ground. We're dealing with that with a combination of... Ultimate Providence and a couple D-spells. You have D-spell as fodder for Providence if you feel the need to, or just use it. I wouldn't actually. I would use the D-spell from your hand. It'll also be fodder for Ultimate Providence to counter Quill Pen. Put monsters on your field back. Quill Pen will bounce a monster back into your hand. But Rebound, which is really great, and that's where I have a shout out to to Ravy from the Discord. Ravy's the one who, while we were grinding things this morning, goes, guys, check out Rebound. I'm sure we can use it. Because Rebound will also counter Swift Birdman Joe while it's trying to bounce cards back to your hand. Kujaku is only a 3-star monster. Doesn't really offer too much of a threat. Adds a Harpy to her hand. Sure, we need more card draw. We're running 3 copies of Goblin's Housekeeping and 2 Shards of Greed for that card draw. Swift Birdman, we went over. Spiritual Wind Miyabi, classic. We saw it in the Joey event. We're running Ultimate Providence to counter it. That's what you need to focus your Ultimate Providence on, is countering that Spiritual Wind Miyabi. Fortunately, it's going to be more of a 3-to-1 race between Spiritual Miyabi and Ultimate Providence. We can't really do much else other than that. The card draw helps it swing it a little bit into our favor, but judging by the Ultimate Providence to Spiritual Wind Miyabi ratio alone, this deck should technically draw into Spiritual Wind Miyabi before we draw into Ultimate Providence, probably in around 20% of the time, which is unfortunate. But roaming duelists, we have limited testing capabilities, so we just kind of gotta do it on the fly, right? Harpy Harpist is another one. It returns a monster to your hand, plus searches a wind monster on death. Rebound counters the Harpy Harpist's effect. Elegant Egotist, we're very familiar with. Valence Pike, equip card, plus 900 for every like name monster in the grave. This can actually buff any of her monsters over your Labyrinth Wall, easily being able to kill it. That's something you got to look out for as well. Hysteric Party, discard a card, special summon as many Harpy ladies from the graveyard. That just swarms the field. It only really becomes a problem when she's already got Harpy's Hunting Ground on the field, which we're doing our best to manage. Hysteric Sign, add an Elegant Egotist from the deck, add Harpies at the end of the turn. More card draw, we're trying to counter that. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total card draw power in this deck. A Mirror Wall. So I'm running anti-magic arrows for Mirror Wall at the end of this. I actually don't want to. I really don't. I want to rely on Ultimate Providence to counter Mirror Wall, but I think we're relying on Ultimate Providence to counter too many things. I don't want to have to rely on it being in my hand at the end of the game. I'll run Magic Arrows right now. Every part of me wants to take that out of this deck and just put something else in, but we'll see. And 2 RP Lady Sisters. They're pretty straightforward. So that summarizes up the threat. Going over her deck list, basically. It's how I like to do it. Write all the cards out and kind of assess the threat of every single card as we're going. Aimon was one of these. I'm going to make you guys dizzy as we switch around. This is where we were, in the Shadow Realm. And that's basically it. I mean, it's nowhere near, as far as odds go and percent wins go, it is nowhere near as good as decks we've had in the past. Definitely going to be working on improving it. We're running Piranha Army without Union Attack because it's just more user-friendly. We have the bonus duel assessment on for most of this My event anyhow, so why go out of our way to get Union Attack off when you could summon the... this endgame becomes so easy when you can simply just summon the fusion monster whenever it's available, instantly, freeing up hand space, not having to deal with 7-card hands, risking setting important cards versus Harpy's Hunting Ground. If you ever find yourself with all the cards in your hand, you should just be summoning that fusion monster, because let's be real, if she somehow takes your fusion monster out, she was going to take out your Labyrinth Wall anyway, and it was going to be a good game. So there's no reason to hold back on the fusion summon, making this a perfect setup. And yeah, My Valentine, let's go. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta, it's a roaming duelist event. We don't have the time to sit here and perfect it like we do a gate event with while we're just farming up dice or toast or keys or whatever. And instead we kind of just got to do our best to throw it together and go for it, or you're wasting time. Admittedly, I feel like since 3 o'clock I've just wasted solid time. I haven't had a chance to duel her yet, and I'm recording this at about 12:43 p.m. Eastern time. The event dropped like a good 8 hours ago. More than 8. I don't know, 8, 9-ish. Okay, so we open up with a Rebound. We'll set that. We can throw the anti-magic arrows and our koala back in. I kind of want to hold on to the D-spell because it will be used mid-farm as countering material, so we'll see. And unfortunately, like I said, it's simply it's a race between Ultimate Providence, and she's already going to start off by smacking Rebound. At least we get the secondary effect of Rebound to draw a card. Oh, I forgot about that. Technically, we have an extra 3 card draw. It's like phantom card draw because you can't actually rely on it. But D-spell is going to come down here, hit that Harpy's Hunting Ground. We don't have... Part of me wants to keep the Shard of Greed in hand in case I get quilled. Ooh. Would be the smart thing to do, eh? Alright, fine, we'll do it. Okay, we're about to get Spiritual Ultimate Abbey? No, not yet. Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh. See, like, that's it. It's sketchy. It's so sketchy. It's just a race. Spiritual Art Miyabi is the tough one to counter here. I have a feeling some adjustments of this deck may involve running more counters somehow to Spiritual Art Miyabi, except for what options do we even have for that? I would have to sift through the deck to even figure out what counter opportunities we have to shut it down. More counter traps off the top of my head. I mean, Trap Jammer comes to mind. That's obviously going to be useless. It's a main phase trap. We'll probably have to run 7 Tools of the Bandit. That shuts the trap down instantly. It doesn't have the versatility that Ultimate Providence does, but we could probably fit a copy or 2 into the deck and help round off the defenses here. I want to use good Goblin Housekeeping. Ultimate Providence counters just about everything. We're looking for Quill. It's not going to help against Quill. Rebound will help against Quill, though, so we're going to set Rebound as well. Maybe I shouldn't have set Ultimate Providence quite yet. Monster Gate. Good Goblin Housekeeping. Sure. We'll send the Poly back. Sure. Harpy's Harpist. Oh, that's annoying. Harpy's Harpist did not go for the effect. I wonder if that's... it has to be normal summoned when this card is normal summoned. Ah, cool. So we've countered we've bypassed the Harpy Harpist effect. Is this going to be Swift Birdman Joe? See ya, Swift Birdman Joe. Rebound away. And like, there's like two cards, more than just 2 cards. Where we'll obviously get rid of this one. Why not? Peace. Hoping it was Mirror Wall. There's like 2 different 3-to-1 races going on. There's not enough counter in this deck for it to be extremely consistent. It's kind of just where it's kind of just going to be the starting point for the event. Quill, as you can see, we're only going to be able to stop this Quill because we have Ultimate Providence ready. But it's going to cost us our Secret Passes, the treasures. And how do we even suggest we finish the farm then, if it's going to cost us a Secret Pass, the treasures? It's just... I knew I should have put in a Pot of Bene. That's unfortunate. And I even had it in my original deck build too, knowing there's a good chance that I'll have to discard important cards or lose them to Harpy's Hunting Ground. Wait a second. Oh yeah, we countered it. But like I said, we no longer have Secret Pass to the treasures. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to polish this one off. Okay. Yeah, we're still good. Select a card from your hand to return to the deck. I mean, Piranha. Piranha, are you doing? Gift of the Martyr. Good Goblin Housekeeping. You can always reset. Rebound. I mean, she's already used... Where were you a second ago, Rebound? That's what we need you for. Like... A good 1 out of 3 farm, she's going to draw everything before you do with this setup. But it's a start. That's all I can really say. It's definitely a start. And I invite all you guys to share your ideas. Let's get the conversation going in the just the comments down below as well. Let's help each other get this deck under wrap. We can poly out our big guy now. There's nothing stopping us. In fact, it'll help me start doing some damage because... obviously, we're not going to get the Piranha through, unfortunately. Set Rebound, because what else do we have to do? Battle Phase? Nah. Maybe she'll go defensive, and somehow we can wing clearing the field. No, she's got way too many monsters for that. We only have 2 turns left. Oh, it hurts. Harpy Lady 3. Oh, well. That would have shut down that dream right there in its tracks. So the deck is at least making it to the end game. Certainly making it to the end game. We don't even... even though we made it there, we actually don't even have Ultimate Providence left. Oh, that's why we use anti-magic arrows though, which makes it not the worst thing. The play here is simply Piranha into Gift of the Martyr. Anti-magic arrows you'll activate when you're pumping into battle phase. Where did my secret passage? Yeah, of course. I don't have my secret passage treasures, obviously, because it's sitting sadly in my deck where we had to use it as fodder to pop off that Ultimate Providence. And then, I mean, since we can't do anything else, we're just going to take the short hit here. 3,400. Oh, it hurts. It's not going to be perfect or anything. We made it to the end. The core of the farm worked. It's just kind of tweaking it to make it work a little better. We only got 5,700, which really sucks. We'll have to see if my respawns instantly for us or not. And let's get that conversation rolling. How can we improve this deck? How can we get Super Mai level 40 under wraps? This was a level 30, so that's what I'm going to do next. We'll swap it over. Level 30 seems to be a lot easier to farm. They seem to swap their mentality going, maybe we should stop making level 30 the level 30 roaming duel is harder to farm than level 40. They seem to just auto duel it and not give a shit. But thanks for checking us out, guys. Catch us live on twitch.tv/MasKScarin later today. And yeah, stay classy.